we were talking about female to female and toxic relationships. Ooh, that's good. That's really good. Especially like, I think both of us have had a plethora of different female friends. Well, actually, I have less than you because I don't really like people.
I love people.
I'm not a people person.
And
I think people believe that me being a therapist, I should like more people, but I really don't like people. Like, I have a very small, like, I like these people. And that's it. Everybody else, I tolerate.
You out of here.
Okay. But talking about female, what we say, female to female toxic relationships.
Yeah. Trauma.
And trauma. You know what, though? I think that not having healthy growing up and experiencing, like, not even, I mean, some of it could be sibling stuff. Some of it could just be your primary mom and dad and how you attach to them, what your attachment style is, et cetera, et cetera. But that trauma,
baby. Well, how does that work though?
What do you mean?
So
as far as the attachment things?
No, the trauma. How are we learning that these behaviors are acceptable?
I think there's two different roles. I was just talking to a friend about how if you can't pay attention to how your children, say you're a parent, if you don't pay attention to your children and how they relate to other peers, then you won't know where to intervene. Also, if you have bad socializing and where as a kid, think about, when did you ever see your parents socialize, or your aunties and them outside of their family? When did you ever see them socialize with other people that weren't family?
Ooh, that is interesting. If it wasn't over the phone and one-sided. Okay.
So I mean, if you parallel, if our first interactions, if you have siblings, your first friend relationships are your siblings. If not, or cousins, siblings or cousins, it just depends on the dynamic of your family. So we learn that before we even get into kindergarten, right? Before you even start pre-K kindergarten, you're around cousins and siblings. So if you can't see that around you, that's how kids learn. They mirror what they see. So if I'm a kid and I don't see any positive relationships, all I got, maybe my parents is arguing, and how do you know how to be friendly? You don't. And then even the idea of a lot of our moms argued a lot and weren't nice and weren't kind and weren't loving. They might have been somewhat to you, but how did you see them with their siblings, with their aunties, with their cousins, with their significant other? How would you know? As a woman, a lot of things that we see mirror our aunts, our moms, our grandparents, our grandma, like the people in the church, coaches, and we mirror that. So if you don't know what the heck you doing.
Absolutely.
So that's where I believe that trauma starts. And I know, like, for me personally, I grew up blended family. My mom has a whole bunch of siblings. But growing up, I was very, very close to her two sisters. My Auntie Lynn, you met at my birthday.
I love them.
No, my Auntie Lynn wasn't there. She's in Toledo, but you met Pumpkin, which is my cousin, and my Auntie Laura, who is a complete clown.
God.
Pure comedy. But those were the female women on my mom's side. Like, and because I was always the baby and the baby girl, like, we have a very close, you know what I mean? Now, my dad's side, not as much. Like, my aunt passed, and she was like, that lady was mean. Cassie Pearl, rest in peace, mean too. Like, my namesake and all that, but she just, and I think it was just how she was raised. She just didn't care, like, and so when I
it wasn't an age thing. It was like, was this like overall? Because I just think that as we get older, we just give
I'm gonna tell you what I really think it is. I'm gonna tell you what I mean. I don't really think my grandmother liked me and my sister's moms. I'm gonna just go ahead and put that out there. You talk about female and toxic femininity. I don't believe that she really liked us, liked our moms, and so in turn, we're like the kids that, you know what I'm saying? Like my aunt. Like, she lived with my grandmother at one point in time. Like, it was just something about my dad and his wives. Like, they wasn't rocking with us for real. Like, so bad. You talk about family drama. So bad. When my grandmother passed, now my grandmother died of like all kinds of cancer, all kinds of stuff, right? You know how me and my sister found out? On my sister's best friend's Twitter. Nobody called us.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, she ain't like y'all.
She didn't, man. So I will say I'm glad that I didn't spend a lot of time over there because it probably would have changed. Like, and yeah, it just wasn't. So when people talk about their grandmothers they love, and I'm like, I'm low-key jealous because Cassie Pearl was not that. That was, but on my mom's side, we always have a good time. I think the biggest rift in our family is when my mom, got clean and got heavy in the church. I feel like her siblings didn't know how to relate to her because she wasn't who she was, or who they grew up to her being. And so I believe that affected me growing up. But as you see, like my aunts are great. Like we have a really so they had, and it's crazy like that. My mom is so good with female relationships because the stories I heard about them girl siblings and sleeping with each other's exes and
See.
They had, I promise, from what I hear, one guy had all the siblings except all the girls except for my mom. So wasn't nobody else. There was no other guys. And they was fighting and stuff. So it's a blessing that my mom is the woman that she is because
Look,
what she
the
grew.
yikes face. I'm
Man.
sorry. Like, wait, what? I'm sorry to tell you.
Listen, I ain't gonna tell you all the tea, yeah. But to say all that to say how you were raised, and even if you think to how the woman in your life, what did you see? Like I know you were really close to your grandmother, but what other female, good positive relationship, and how do you think that mirrors to your relationships with women now?
Zero. Like now that you mention it, zero. And to be honest, like I was reflecting the other day because I had ran into Brittany. Well, actually, I had told her to come to my job, and I can just say her name because that's a million people name. Right?
Man,
everybody named Brittany.
Yeah, so yeah, that'll do it.
Brittany. Yep. So I remember I've known Brittany since pre-K. So we've known each other life. We done life together. That's family, And I remember in the 5th grade, this when we went back to school together, and I made her cry so many times because I was such a horrible friend. Like I would just be like, "Bitch, shut up!"
Wait,
and I was mean.
In kindergarten,
5th grade. Oh no, not kindergarten. I was.
Wait,
I was just wanting to do crayons. Where the crayons and the blocks?
You was calling people bitches in kindergarten?
No.
Okay, 5th grade. I'm back. My bad.
And she would cry, and I never really understood how it was hurting her. And I would apologize, but I would impulsively say these things, and I was so angry. And I never realized that it would come out to her or to hurt her. Yeah. And then I went through, I just want to be friends with everybody, and I want everybody to like me. So just unhealthy transition. And then I realized that I had carried that into adulthood. So in my 20s, I was like, I don't want any more exhausting friendships. I cannot take another exhausting friendship. And I had no idea how to get out of that because I had friends who, I thought I had the friend who pretended she slept with my boyfriend. No, or did she sleep with my boyfriend? I really don't know. But she used that as to kind of make her dude mad.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Wow. But nobody was thinking about how Shay would feel if she hear that type of news. And I didn't even beat her up. I didn't even hit her. I beat the trash out of him. I busted his lip and everything. I was just like... She a thug for real. Let me put my hand back in my pocket. That's why I don't want to hit nobody. I don't want to hit nobody. I just know me.
We don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I'm going to just keep going. So I'm done. So, but I never noticed what it meant to be a friend or what I wanted from a friend because no one really sat down with me and was like, relationships are this or relationships are that. So it was either she my friend. It was just, I just had all these friends who were not my friends. And I wanted them all to be my friends. So I would be like, oh, I got a Polly Pocket. You play with Polly Pocket. You can have my Polly Pocket. You can have my secret diary. You remember the little secret diary? You can have it because we're friends. And you can read my journal because we're friends. And no. Like, if I go back in time and be like, us, what you doing? No. I'm telling you how this going to happen.
But I mean, I think it's interesting, like, just that parallel, just understanding how important it is to belong. You know what I mean? Like, growing up wanting to belong, and even the idea of, are we teaching our kids what friends? I mean, like, I had friends, I believe, I don't remember. I feel like I wasn't nice as a kid. Like, I'm not nice now, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I can't remember, like, having friends younger. Like, I don't remember, like, for you, like, you were like, I had friends from pre-K. Listen, I don't remember that. Like, the first friend that I had that I can remember that was like my best friend, and to be truthful, we had our birthday was 2 days apart, so we linked on that. I don't even know if we was really friends, but she ended up moving to Columbus, and I think we were friends in middle school, maybe 5th or 6th grade. 5th or 6th grade is the first time I can remember, like, having a friend. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
What the hell was I doing all that time?
I remember
Being mean, not talking to nobody.
I remember, I don't know whether it's the class picture with all the names underneath, and you just were like,
I don't remember any of them
They called her
people.
Booger Lip. You know, like, I was the queen of nicknames back then too. Cause
Man, that's funny. Yeah, but like, and I don't know if it, well, I feel like a lot of that has to, for me, like, my mom was very scary as a parent. She was definitely a helicopter mom, because my mom had this excessive fear that somebody was going to abuse us. So maybe that's why, like, I never slept over nobody's house. Like, I never, if they wasn't family,
I had a
even
weird
to this,
mom
no, like,
with
my best friend, who was my god sister, and her, like, that's about the extent of overnight spending. That's it. Christine was not for the shenanigans, okay?
I used to get in trouble for going in people's houses. Let my mom come outside to look for us, and I was in somebody's house. Oh, let me have 8 at their house. Oh, it was real bad. I'm like, what? But this is the same mom who used to tell me, ain't nobody come pick you up from school. This is what she used to say about kindergarten, going to kindergarten. Getting ready to walk into my first day of class. She said, ain't nobody picking you up from school. You understand? And if they come up and they say that they know me and they taking you to me, ain't nobody picking you up. You understand?
Good God.
Okay. I just knew nobody wasn't picking me up. And if they knew my mama, they wasn't taking me to my mama. You know, she was just high. Like, now I know that she was talking about kidnapping, but, like, she was just a bit extreme. So I just know when nobody picking me up from school, okay. If it's not her, if they gonna take me to her, they not. They not picking me up.
So she was a different kind of helicopter mom. She was like, I'm scared.
Helicopter, that was a spotlight mom. Yeah. She had, like, the detective spotlight. You heard what I said? Like, it'd be like, yeah, ma. Like, what's your address?
No.
Maybe repeat my address. I think I was the only kid in my class who knew I was born, what year I was born in, because everybody would say the year it was. They're like, my birthday is September 1st, 1992. And they're like, well, how? Because you wouldn't even be born yet. It's too early for your birthday. And I'm like, my mom don't know that my birthday, I'm born in 89.
Oh,
like,
my
anybody else, nobody knows that.
Only you.
Yeah, my mom was like, she made sure I knew all that stuff. I knew my phone number and all that creepy stuff.
I wonder why.
Shit was weird.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I knew that number. I still know that number.
Lord.
I know that whole address. She made sure I knew the zip code.
And how are you?
Kindergarten, bruh.
Oh, yeah. She thought somebody was going to. See, you thought you was getting kidnapped. My mama thought somebody was going to abuse us. So, I don't know what the heck. But, so when I think about female friendships, I didn't really start having female friendships probably until, like, 8th grade. And then, like, I kept that friend. She's still my best friend to this day. So, like, I think my biggest struggle with female friend toxicity is that I'm used to having really solid long-term friends. So I don't like let people in because I'm good. Like I don't why? I'm good. I got enough friends. We good. You know what I'm saying? So every time I would try to let people in, I would really embrace them because that's just who I am as a person. Like if I rock with you, I rock with you. That's you here. You here for the long run. And so the last female friend that I had a really bad experience with, which is so weird because you know when you have bad friend relationships and you can just like walk away and you don't have to see them anymore. Not this one. So awkward. But anyway, because I don't want to get into that. But even that friendship was very toxic, and I knew it was. But because I'm the quote unquote bigger one, the more emotionally mature one, etc. I tend in relationships, female, male, whatever, I'll take on more because I can handle it. So when I think of trauma and female, because I have that, you know, Leos are very loyal, so we're gonna ride it out.
So how does being that close to someone who hurt you
Lord.
on a consistent, not even a consistent,
Too consistent.
close, how does that impact your day? Like not your day, but how does that impact you
experiences around
getting active in certain areas that you know this person's going to be in?
It's
Do
impossible.
You feel I can't be free here.
Yeah. And so when we talk about boundaries and kind of knowing yourself, one of my boundaries is I will leave. Like I won't be around because I don't believe, personally, I just don't believe in being anywhere where I'm uncomfortable. And that could be petty. That could be, it don't matter where it is. If that vibe ain't right, I'm uncomfortable. I got to go. Nope. I could be in church and be like, yep, well, I know God is here, but I got to go. Like, because I feel like when we look at trauma and we look at our experiences, it's okay to be uncomfortable, and it's not. So for me, I think I just will remove myself, and that is one of my probably not good characteristic traits. My shutdown is real. I will just shut down and be like, no, I'm good. So that's my like self-preservation. And so like even when we talk about different stuff and you just be like, yeah, I'm gonna just keep trying. Why?
I am notorious for like, I'm gonna mend this relationship.
And I'll be like, why?
I just realized that I don't really care. And I was like, oh, I don't want relationships to end for misunderstandings. And it was like, yes, I do. I just realized I do.
Yeah.
I realized I do. Because if you want to take the time to create whatever story in your head to misunderstand me and suddenly tear my character apart, if that's who you think, I had that one friend who suddenly decided she wanted to blow up at me and just, I had took a deep breath. I was like, I was just calling to check on you. And she's like, here you go with that sarcastic tone. I was like, oh, and she just went off. And I was like, and then she hung up on me. And I realized, this is not the first time you've done that.
Man.
But it's going to be the last. Man. So however you feel about me when I'm not around, you feel like I have a sarcastic tone when I'm trying to make sure we're good. And actually, I had just took a deep breath because I was offended at how she came at me. But I valued the relationship enough not to tell her, to cuss her out, okay?
How you really felt.
Yeah, let me tell you what it is. But I think,
like, even that, like, we need to speak more as women and being honest. And sometimes there's a way to cuss people out. Like, I do believe that everybody doesn't always process or get stuff, but I think a lot of times in our female relationships I don't really want to say that because, and I've done that too at some point in my life. I don't really want to say that because I know how they are and their feelings will get hurt. So my feelings is hurt.
Right.
And you gonna get,
Again, what better way than a misunderstanding? What better way than a misunderstanding?
Yep, absolutely.
We don't have to understand each other.
Yep.
Just secretly uninvite yourself to my funeral. That's what we'll do. Don't talk to me. I'm good with that. Secretly uninvite yourself. Like, you know why? You don't have to go.
I laugh
this funeral
because I do the opposite. Like, I have mental funerals for people. So then they don't exist anymore. And so that's why, like, I can be around people and, like, not say anything to them because
you just kick people off the island.
Don't exist.
This is Survivor. You've been voted off.
Booted out of there. But I do think that we need to be able to have the experience of how do we say certain things to some people. And then I also think that we aren't truthful into if people really are our friends. You know, like I think that's a trauma response too. Like I just really want people to like me, or I don't want to be misunderstood, or I don't want people like I'm not here anymore, but at some point in my life, I was so focused on people misunderstanding me and people reading wrong that I would just be like wanting to like. But then when I was like, at the end of the day, people gonna have their perceptions. So I know what truth is. I know what the facts is. And
the truth, look, I have become so comfortable with my truth that I don't care what you say.
Man.
I was there. You could have been there too, but I was there. I was there. These are my feelings. I was there. Like,
and I don't think people talk about that enough in their friendships.
Oh,
like
no.
it's okay to like. I think one of the best moments in our friendship, we were talking about something, and if you know me, I'm a little bit opinionated. I'm very opinionated. Hence the reason why I have a podcast. But anyway, but I'm very passionate about things that I can just go on a tangent. And so we were talking about something, and you said to me, you actually were talking about another friend. Like she was venting to me about another friend, and you were just talking about you just want to speak freely without judgment. And I was like, ooh. I do that. Oh, I will put my 2 cents in quick. And she didn't ask me. Oh no. And so from that day forward, I made a conscious decision. Like if I feel myself going on a tangent, I'll ask you. I'll be like, so are you venting or can I just?
Yeah.
And so I've consciously, and even though you weren't saying that about me, because I care about you, I want you to be able to freely talk about whatever it is. You know what I mean? And so I was like, "Dag, am I judgy?" I wonder. And so that
I don't even know. I remember.
I mean, I know, but I ain't gonna talk about
it. I know. I'm like, that's how it just being able to vent and have that friend where you can vent to, and it just feel like now that it's out, it doesn't matter anymore. Because I'm glad that you gained something from that, but I've also obviously gained the clarity of that shit don't matter no more because I don't even remember. I feel bad about it.
I think it was important to, when you think about friendships and stuff like that, it's important to have those moments to reflect. And we talked about reflecting and stuff like that. So
if you're the toxic friend, untoxify yourself.
Oh my God.
Look, you want me to do it? Figure out what's going on.
I cannot.
No, seriously. Figure out what's going on. It's okay to be the toxic friend once you figure out you're toxic, but because no one's going to help you taste that own medicine. You're used to that poison.
Right.
So no one's going to help you figure that out. So if you realize you're the toxic friend, you need to start making the changes because you actually value the people around you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the friend at the end of your word.
That's true.